We are the Wistl Family Adventures channel. Follow us on our chaotic and crazy adventures as we navigate life in a new country. Today we are challenged by something we did not expect that put our lives into perspective. And also a few other really scary things happened at the same time. Now my instant thought was like earthquake warning. So welcome back to the Wistl Family Adventures on a, well, it has been raining and it was supposed to rain when we came out, but it actually has stopped, which is nice. But actually the whole week, Manila specifically and most of the Philippines has been experiencing a tropical depression. Now for us as foreigners, we actually didn't realise that this would happen during some of the hottest months in the Philippines, which is obviously April and May. But apparently a huge storm has just washed across us. Last night for us it was really bad. We had lots of storms and the whole road that we're about to walk down completely flooded, which a lot of people tell us that Makati specifically and BGC areas don't tend to flood, but it did. And also a few other really scary things happened at the same time, but we'll tell you about that in a minute. Oh, thank you. That's so pretty. I love, oh, you got to catch it? I love the frangipanis. They're very pretty and they smell nice. Have you smelt it? Mmm. So this road actually runs adjacent to the main road that goes past Salcedo and towards BGC, and actually last night it was completely and utterly flooded. Like I think they had to bring in 2 huge vehicles to stop people from coming down this road because it was like inches worth of water, which even in typhoon season we've never seen happen before. So it's really, really weird. So there must have been a lot of rain last night for that to have happened. Obviously now it's starting to look like it's clearing, but I think it's due to rain in the next hour or so. But it was just really odd seeing the city underwater a little bit because we're not used to that. And also a lot of people tell us that it's very impossible for Manila and Metro Manila specifically to actually flood. Literally this pavement turned into a, a really tricky one. This is what it's like sometimes in Manila, especially Makati. Some parts of Makati are really well designed, and then you'll get really random little side paths that aren't really side paths, and you just kind of have to embrace it and improvise as you go. So I think it's really easy to be extremely naive as tourists of a country to expect things that aren't always going to be that way. So I personally, being naive, a naive foreigner, sorry, didn't think that April or May we would see any rain whatsoever. It's always a bike. It's always a noisy bike. Let alone seeing a tropical depression hit the Philippines. I know this one begins with an A because they go up in the alphabet every year. So this is the first one and it begins with an A. I don't remember what they called it this time, but the next one will be a B name. And then maybe this year K and R will be our names. Who knows? We might be named after a typhoon or something. But yeah, I think we just didn't realize that you would see rain this time of year, especially during like the height of summer here in the Philippines. Hi, pussycat. Hi. Hi. So another thing that tends to happen when these changes of weather are so dramatic, like it has been this week, is that usually we get quite sick. I've got a bit of a cold and Kev's had one earlier this week, but my nose is running so... Hi, pussycat. Here's another cat. So we always end up getting a little bit unwell the moment it changes, and that's like a good telltale sign. I'm kind of glad it's not raining now because we also get quite ill when the rain comes down. That's happened before as well. But I've really noticed that the moment that weather changes dramatically is always going to guarantee that one of us is going to feel the effects of that. I think Harry's become the new cat whisperer because we literally have a whole band of cats following us down the road. There's like 2 down there now, and Oslo. So during all of the storms last night, all the lightning, all the thunder, and especially all of the rain, something really weird happened in the condo. So out in the hallway, all of the alarms for like the exit signs went off all at once. So our one on our floor went off, and then the alarms for the floors above and below were also starting to go off at the same time. Now, my instant thought was like earthquake warning, maybe. And nobody was really coming out of their rooms to check out what was going on apart from foreigners. So it shows that we really don't know what we're doing when it comes to this sort of thing. And it really did put into perspective how underprepared we really are for natural disasters here in the Philippines. Obviously, coming from the UK, this is not our forte. We are not used to it. We do not know the precautions or the things that you have to do. We don't know anything. Like, we've never experienced it. I don't think there's anything quite like your first time. And when we came here last August, we had just missed a 6.3 or 6.4 magnitude earthquake that hit here in Manila. So we missed it. And all the earthquakes that have been recorded since, we haven't felt / haven't been in the right area. There was one in Baguio once, but we were sleeping and we didn't feel it. Apparently it was like a 4 or a 5, but we never felt it. So I don't know if that's really, it's not as a big thing as it sounds, but I think out of everything to do with the Philippines, weather-wise, I'm starting to sound like I've got a really bad blocked nose, sorry. This weather's made my whole face swell up. I feel like because we still haven't experienced it, it's probably one of the scariest things now sitting at the back of my mind, that when it does happen, I don't honestly know what you do, like if you evacuate, or what is it called? No, that's it. Or what the routine procedure actually is to handle it. And I think last night really triggered that in me, especially because I don't know if an alarm goes off before an earthquake is about to happen. I don't know if the government or whoever measures the weather picks up on a earthquake that quickly before it happens, or whether an earthquake happens and then you kind of deal with it afterwards. This is things like, I have questions that need answering because I really don't understand how it works here. And it's just one of those things I feel like it's going to happen. Like, it has to happen. Like, I don't think I could go a whole year here without having that experience. But it's one that I don't think me and Kev are prepared for in the slightest. And to me, with Manila being on one of the main tectonic plates as well, Manila, the city itself, actually runs on one of the biggest plates, more so than the islands or the north. And I didn't know that. I thought that it was like islands and things like that dealt with the earthquakes worse, but actually it's not. It's the main city. It's really strange. And I feel like that triggered that alarm going off. Turns out it was nothing. It was somebody had fixed it, so I guess it was going off for no reason. But it made me feel very uncomfortable because it's just one of those things that we haven't dealt with yet, and it's just another part of being here and experiencing the weather. And natural disasters are bound to happen, but it's just a weird feeling, I feel like, because we haven't had it yet. I feel like once I've had my first experience, I'll be better off knowing what to do and what not to do. And I feel like once you know, but I feel like also you never know when it's going to be a big one, and you never know when it's going to be a huge one and a bad one, or whether it's going to be like really small and insignificant. It's really strange to know that something like that can make such a difference, and yet I'm yet to experience that part of life here in the Philippines. So we were extremely lucky that obviously nothing happened. There was no earthquake, and so far our journey in the Philippines has meant that we haven't had to yet encounter one. We have encountered typhoons, but we've always been really safe. But I do think moments like these have to happen, and you do have to be aware that this can happen to you. In any country that you go to, there will always be something that will be hard to kind of deal with. So obviously being in a high-rise condominium, we aren't particularly affected by most of the weather that goes on. However, I think with an earthquake, it's a lot different. And now I've had a bit of a scare, it just has put a lot of more things into perspective, like cherishing and protecting our little family. You could gather a million treasures. You could search from coast to coast. The most valuable thing you'll find is that family matters the most.